Hello, I'm Tony Chapman, Director of Product Management and Strategy at Collins Aerospace for Airport Systems. And today we're going to talk through the contactless journey. How a passenger can transit through an airport in a totally contactless manner from enrollment through to final boarding. As you can now see, we've got the diagram on the screen showing the various steps that a passenger would typically go through as they transit through an airport. The biometric process is driven by the biometric database and the self-pass platform, the platform being the engine that drives all the various touch points, as you can see in the middle of the diagram there. The enrollment process, which is validating your identity, so capturing a facial image and matching that probably with a passport to assure that identity is validated, can now take place off airport. That's the first step. So using a mobile phone, we can capture a facial image, effectively taking a selfie and match that with the image on the passport. That forms the base enrollment in the biometric platform. We now move through the various check-in and bag drop steps. That can take place off airport. There's many off airport facilities now, whether it be completely off airport, such as a downtown check-in, or maybe at a parking garage. So you can complete the check-in process either there or on a mobile bag tag position, as you can see there. But the intention there is you capture the boarding pass details, boarding pass image, and associate that with the prior enrollment. So we've now got a token that matches face, boarding pass, and passport details in one record. We're showing here at the check-in step that you can take temperature screening measurements and maybe other vital signs checks at the same point. We're not saying it has to be at check-in, it's just a capability that can be offered at multiple touch points through the journey if we want to check passengers that may be showing symptoms of a potential illness. We move from the check-in process to the bag tag. If it's a separate process, many airports it will be single step, but in this case we're showing it as a separate step. So you tag the bag, weigh and tag the bag. That bag tag can then be associated with the single token if required. Moving then to the bag drop process, where we validate identity using the enrollment we've already created. So we can validate that the person dropping the bag is in fact the person who tagged the bag in the first instance. So that will validate the bag weight and then accept it into the rest of the baggage system, all along the identity having been confirmed through the biometric process. Now, during this process, we've not touched anything. We've accepted our bag tag, attached it to the bag. We've then placed it on the bag drop device. It's accepted the bag. Then proceeding through immigration, it's another potential touch point for measuring, doing temperature measurement. We go through the pre-security validation, where they validate the identity, make sure the person is who they claim to be. So the same person who checked in is now the person passing through security. He's got all the right credentials and authority to pass through the security checkpoint. Once we're clear of that process, we can now enjoy the facilities of the airport. That might be proceeding to duty-free or going to an airport lounge. Again, access to the lounge can be controlled by the same biometric token that we have previously established. And again, purchasing duty-free. Duty-free, we can use the token to validate that the person is an international traveller and therefore subject to or eligible for duty-free purchases. We could also attach a credit card to the original enrollment and pay for that duty-free purchase using facial biometric only. And then finally, moving to boarding. Using self-boarding gates, we simply move through the boarding gate using a biometric token. Again, we're not touching anything, we're just using our face as the form of identity that validates our authority to board that flight. And boarding is another potential touch point where we can measure people's temperature, take people's temperature, and check that they are not showing any symptoms of potential illness. So as you can see, by forming that enrollment before we get to the airport using a mobile, we have a single token that enables us to transit through the complete airport process without having to touch anything, hand over any documents to other airline or airport staff. We're in control of the total journey, and we don't actually have to touch any of the devices themselves. We can do it all in a remote, touchless manner for a complete touchless journey through the airport. The key is that initial enrollment that we can do off-site that's under our control.